Hey guys, what is cracking? It's Krakenation here, coming at you guys with the next installment of the How to Fix It, where we're talking about Pokemon from Generation 4 that are coming back in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and gonna see what can Nintendo and Nintendo do to make these Pokemon more competitively viable. And we've been starting off, we kicked it off, we watched Infernape and Empoleon and saw what they could do. We had some great ideas, some great conversation in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for checking those out. If you guys haven't yet, I definitely recommend you go and check those videos out too, by the way. I'm sure they're somewhere else on my channel. But today we're going to talk about Torterra. And guys, I'm going to be real with you, Torterra has the longest way to go. Now, while definitely better than a certain, Generation 2 starter that you may or may not have heard of, Torterra is a very not competitively viable Pokemon, and that's for a few different reasons. Now, I always thought it was a pretty cool Pokemon. On paper, it looks like it's got a lot going for it, but unfortunately, it just falls short in a few different ways. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about what those weaknesses are. First up, you got to talk about it. It's atrocious defensive typing. Grass Ground is absolutely one of the worst defensive typings you could possibly hope for. Grass, in and of itself, not a great defensive typing. Sometimes okay. Ground, again, kind of similar, sometimes okay, but most Pokemon that are known as good bulky grasses or good bulky grounds are known also because of their stats and move pools. Well, Torterra has a little bit of move pools. It doesn't quite have the stats. And when it combined together, these two typings have awful synergy. You're not actually, ground, obviously you're kind of mitigating the water weakness by being a grass type, but you're also not actually resistant to water, which is really valuable. Being resistant to water type, which is such a common offensive type, is huge in the metagame. So you're not going to be resistant to those water type attacks, so you can't be switching Torterra into those various Scalds and whatnot of the world. You're 4 times weak to Ice. Again, one of the most common and best offensive coverage types in the game in Ice. You're just going to get absolutely destroyed every time you see an Ice move. If you're weak to Fire type, you're weak to Bug type, you're just weak to so many different types that are going to leave you really vulnerable. You don't even resist your own grass typing. So you're just weak to flying again. Again, flying, fire, ice. Like, you're weak to very, very common U-turns like in Bug type. Very common offensive typings and coverage moves are going to hit you way harder than you're comfortable with. And unfortunately, Torterra, it does not stop there for you, buddy. It's got awful speed, so you're also going to be moving second most of the time, especially against offensive Pokemon. So not only do you have this awful typing, but you're also going to move second, so you're going to have to take those attacks and eat them. And that brings me to my next problem, which is you're eating these attacks. Are you, though? Because you have good, not great bulk. Torterra has definitely well above average physical defense and probably right around average special defense if we look at its HP and defensive stats combined. And that leaves it in a position where it's got good, but really not great bulk. I almost would have rather seen it been at least pure defensive, maybe divest out of that special defense a little bit and put it rather into the defensive side of things. Maybe if it was a little more specialized on one, it could have at least shown in that role a little tiny bit more. Unfortunately, you are in this kind of situation where you're kind of good all around, but you're not really great at anything. It just kind of leaves it lacking. And so finally, kind of taking all these together, it just can't take powerful attacks. It's weak to so many attacks, its bulk's not that good, and it's too slow. It's going to have to take the hits. So unfortunately, you're in the situation where Torterra is just getting constantly overwhelmed by harder hitting Pokemon in the metagame. So now let's talk about it. What can we do to start fixing Torterra's problems? Because there are a lot of them, unfortunately. First thing we want to talk about is Shell Smash. And this is an idea that I am really excited about. I think this would be such a cool move for Torterra to get. First of all, it's a turtle. We know that. It's a tortoise, I guess, technically. Torterra, tortoise thing. But, it's got a shell. It could smash that shell, and it could go off. As you guys may not know, or may know, I don't know, Shell Smash is a move that, when one turn, raises your attack, special attack, and speed by 2 stages, which instantly makes so many Pokemon that get Shell Smash so competitively threatening right away, because it's this one-turn monstrous setup move that gets you the speed and the attack stat, even mixed attacking stats if you want to go in that direction right away. Now, at the expense of that, you do lower your defenses, but that's fine because usually once you've lowered your defenses, you're in sweeper mode. So you're not hoping to take hits, you're not planning on taking hits, you're trying to kill things. So that's usually okay. Now, some Pokemon mitigate that by use of an item like White Herb, for example, where they boost back their defensive stats, which can be useful. And Torterra is definitely a Pokemon that could make use of an item like that on a Shell Smash set. But ultimately, what's awesome about Torterra using Shell Smash is a very ideal mix of the stats to reliably set up that Shell Smash and then utilize its offense. And what I mean by that is Torterra's got, first of all, I think a big thing with Shell Smash that makes Shell Smash users good or not good is the prerequisite speed. So there's a lot of Pokemon like Carracosta, for example, that are okay Shell Smash users, but they're just not great because their speed is just too slow. Torterra falls right around those mid-50 ranges where you'll be able to actually outspeed a lot of fast Pokemon as well as a lot of base 70 Scarfers, and that's going to be very common in the metagame, right? So you're going to be at a really good speed tier to utilize your attacks. So that's first and foremost, Torterra meets that prerequisite speed stat. But furthermore, it's got mixed offenses. So you can go physical attacks, you can go Earthquake, you can go Wood Hammer, you can go Seed Bomb, you can go Stone Edge, or you can go special and go like Giga Drain, maybe get some health back. Or you can go maybe like, Earth Power. You got options. So it can go both ways, and it could even do both at the same time because it's got mixed attacking stats and you're boosting both sides. So maybe against your opponent's team, you want to be able to hit with your really powerful Wood Hammer, but then you want to have, maybe Giga Drain in the back to recover that health back, or Earth Power, or you want to go Earthquake and, I don't know, Giga Drain, something like that. So you have these different options, so you can use both sides. And I think what I'm kind of getting at with that is that it gives Torterra a chance to finally use that pretty impressive offensive move pool. It's got coverage moves and things like Stone Edge, it's got Iron Head, it's got some good coverage options. It can run Edgequake plus Stab, and then Shell Smash in that last spot is perfect. So you could just run like, what comes to mind for me is Earthquake, Seed Bomb, and then Stone Edge. Boom, Torterra, Shell Smash, you are ready to go. That set's going to be clean in house. If you wanted to, you could replace Seed Bomb with Wood Hammer for an even harder punch move. Let's say just had to break through that wall. You just needed that really big oomph move that you were willing to sacrifice some health. It's got options. Let's see him to beat that Fairy type a little more reliably. You could run that Iron Head. It's got options. You could even run maybe like something like a recovery move, like a Synthesis or something, to getting that health back. Just so many options that I think Torterra could really utilize on an offensive set if it got Shell Smash. And I think it makes sense, guys. It is a turtle. It's got a shell. Let it smash that thing. I think it works. Let me know what you guys think. This is, I think, a change that would instantly catapult Torterra into competitive relevance like it has never seen before. Finally, the final move I want to talk about is Rapid Spin. Now, this is not a move I think Torterra would really hugely benefit from, but I think it's a move worth talking about. A lot of these turtle-ish Pokemon have gotten Rapid Spin in the past, and it would just be another, tool on Torterra's tool belt that would give it a chance to maybe see some more play, just fulfill another niche. As of Generation 8, Rapid Spin now raises your speed by +1 if you were not aware. It also removes hazards from your side of the field. So that's going to be obviously pretty useful. Torterra also can set Stealth Rocks. It's got recovery moves. It's got powerful attacks, honestly, and decent bulk. Ultimately kind of comprising Pokemon that's got a good utility move pool. I can easily imagine a set where you're running, like Synthesis, Leech Seed, Earthquake, and then Rapid Spin. Or maybe you switch out one of those moves for like a Stealth Rock or something. You've got a lot of really, really good options that give you, some good utility staying power. And what's cool is that it's not dead weight on offensive sets either. Because you boost that speed by +1 when you click Rapid Spin, and Torterra's speed stat isn't complete trash. It's not... Let's not exaggerate here. It's definitely not even average, but it's not unusable. So if you felt like maybe kind of going like a max HP, max speed stat, you could click with your EVs, you could click the Rapid Spin, clear off those hazards, and then maybe you've got, like the Earthquake and the Wood Hammer to start firing off some decently powered attacks. So it's not complete deadweight on an offensive set either. Now, I will say I think Rapid Spin wouldn't quite get Torterra over the hump, but I think it's got some opportunity. I want to talk about some abilities here now. The first one we're going to talk about is Thick Fat. I also talked about this ability for Empoleon, but it's got the ability to reduce the damage of Ice and Fire type moves by half. Now, on Empoleon, we used a very different logic, which is just to make it a true water type. On Torterra, Thick Fat would be massively useful. That 4x ice weakness, now you've got a chance to live those ice type attacks. You are no longer are weak to fire type attacks. It instantly takes 2 of Torterra's weaknesses and massively helps it against those. That's going to be a huge bonus for Torterra, and I think this would be a really, really helpful one. So if this thing got, like, let's say Thick Fat plus, I don't know, Shell Smash, instantly, boom, I think this could be a really, really good competitive Pokemon. Now, I will say, Shell Armor, I'm a little biased towards. I love Shell Armor because I always seem to get crit in battles that can count for some inexplicable reason. The universe hates me. So I do love knowing I'm not going to get crit when I've got my Torterra on the field. But ultimately, Thick Fat would be a much more competitively viable ability. And it finally helps it fulfill a defensive role quite a bit better because it's not getting exploited so often by those poor defensive typings. The last thing we're going to talk about today is a kind of different direction I want to take Torterra in. This was a cool suggestion that I saw that I thought, you know, rather than try to take Torterra and boost what it's already kind of doing, why don't we just try to take Torterra in a completely different direction? And that's what the ability Grassy Surge, which you may know Rillaboom and Tapu Bulu get, but it basically sets grassy terrain on entry. It's going to be a really cool concept, I think, for Torterra because it allows it to take it in this unique direction where it fills a utility support role on a team, but also can independently benefit off of the terrain it's setting. It can fire off these massively powerful wood hammers and seed bombs and Giga Drains and energy balls or whatever, but then it can also recover off some damage off that wood hammer, for example, with the grounded grassy terrain healing benefit. Which is really, really cool. It can also benefit its teammates in that regard, obviously. But another cool aspect of that is that Torterra can go special. So obviously when you run, if you didn't know, when you run Grassy Surge, Grassy Terrain negates the damage of Earthquake by half. But you can run Earth Power on Torterra. And Torterra can go special very easily. You know, it's not as good as the physical set, but it's honestly still pretty good, especially under grassy terrain. So you could run a really cool niche Torterra set that really takes it, rather than just try to upgrade what it's already doing and kind of highlight that. I thought this was a cool suggestion to take it in just a completely different direction. So this was one that I thought was really interesting and worth touching upon. Either way, guys, let me know what you guys think of these trainers to Torterra. Do you think they're going to be enough if they were to happen to make Torterra competitively viable? Because I know this Pokemon's got a long way to go. If you guys think there's any changes I might have missed, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I've been really amped to be engaging with you guys in those discussions, and I've gotten some great ideas from you guys. It's been awesome. Make sure to let me know what Pokemon you want to see next. Now we've done the starters, now I'm going to be taking suggestions. So if you want to see what Pokemon, certain Pokemon, and how to fix it in Generation 4 in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, let me know in the comment section below. As always, like, comment, subscribe, guys. It's been awesome to be bringing you guys videos again, and those supports and those likes really encourage me to keep doing that. It makes me really excited to be back. Until next time, though, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.